The Pool of Bethesda is a place mentioned in the Gospel of John. This place was frequented by sick people who believed that the water that moved in the pool possessed healing powers. The study on it reports that it was located near the Sheep Gate, one of the gates of the city of Jerusalem. Although there is no precise information about what caused the movement of the waters, a few theories have been proposed over the years. One of the hypotheses is that a natural source of water could have been responsible for the phenomenon. Another theory suggests that the movement could be caused by seismic activity in the region. There was an Arabic legend surrounding this story, which said that instead of an angel, it was a dragon coming from the abyss. When he woke up, the waters stopped, but when he slept, his convulsions stirred the waters and promoted healing. In addition to this, there were still other pagan beliefs, such as that of the Greeks of the god Esculapius to the Romans. There were cults and temples dedicated to the god Asclepius, son of Apollo in Greek mythology, known as the god of healing or medicine. His figure is always associated with a serpent wrapped around a staff, which is today also a symbol of health and medicine. On the other hand, other interpretations consider the hypothesis that, eventually, healings take place there, for God's sovereign purpose. Could there then be an angel in the service of God, sent to heal from time to time in that place? Or could God, in some other way, extend his mercy by healing some? Yes, it could. According to the study on the Pool of Bethesda, the name Bethesda means house of mercy. It is believed that the tank was so named due to the search of numerous patients for a cure in this place. It would thus be a place of God's grace, which showed favor to the people by giving that virtue through those waters. The Bible in the book of John 5 verses 2-4 says that there is in Jerusalem, near the Sheep Gate, a pool which, in Aramaic, is called Bethesda, having 5 entrances around it. There used to be a large number of sick and disabled people, blind, lame, and paralyzed. They expected a movement in the waters, and now and then an angel of the Lord would come down and stir up the waters. The first one who entered the pool, after the waters had been stirred, was cured of any disease he had. This pool was probably used for swimming, diving, or bathing, but it became famous for the belief that occasionally an angel stirred up the waters. When this happened, the first person who entered the water would be cured of whatever disease they had. Because of these miracles, many sick people stood by the pool, waiting for the opportunity to be healed. Some scholars consider that there were 2 pools in the vicinity of the temple. An upper tank, 2 Kings 18 verse 17, on the east side, and another farther west. One pool would be the Pool of Bethesda near the Sheep Gate, and the other would be the Pool of Siloam by the garden, Nehemiah 3 verse 15. Both would be connected to an intermittent water source, which fed these artificial reservoirs. In another episode where Jesus healed a man blind from birth, he told him to wash in the Pool of Siloam, John 9 verse 7. In both cases, it was not the healing power of the waters that made healing possible, but the power of the word of Jesus Christ. Not much is known about this man, not even what his name is. The Bible only says that he was a sick man who had been suffering for 38 years. It is also not known what disease he had, but he is generally considered to be paralyzed because he could not move without help, and also because he lay there in a bed. This man didn't have many opportunities so far. Probably, when the water was agitated, he had no one to put him in the tank, and alone he could never be the first to enter. Jesus, seeing him lying down and knowing that he had been like this for a long time, asked, "Do you want to be healed?" The sick man answered, "Sir, I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred. When I try to get in, another sick man arrives before me." This man had no physical capabilities to do almost anything. Maybe I'd even tried an alternative. But now he was standing there and sick. Who knows, maybe he had already resigned himself to this situation, after almost 4 decades, without being able to see any improvement. Probably, paralyzed there, the man had not yet heard of Jesus and therefore did not believe in him. His mind was fixed on the many times he had failed to achieve healing, but Jesus said to him, "Get up, take up your bed and walk." Immediately the man was healed, and he took up the bed and began to walk. The lesson we can learn from this story is what some scholars believe, that Jesus, through this miracle, was disproving all beliefs about the waters of Bethesda. By drawing the sick man's attention to himself, Jesus caused him to withdraw his eyes from the waters to put faith and hope in his word. For Christ, people need to trust exclusively in God's mercy,